2025 is the year of gold, uranium, and lithium, with gold prices just hitting all-time highs of $3,430 an ounce in the States. For Canadian companies, that's $4,700 plus, all-time record numbers. You've also got the insane growth of artificial intelligence requiring energy that only uranium-powered nuclear reactors are going to be able to deliver. And then we've got electric vehicle renewable energy storage driving the demand for lithium. This has led to a massive surge in investors that are looking for small cap resource companies that can deliver each of these. But what if I told you there was one small cap company that could deliver all of them? Enter Lancaster Resources, a great small cap resources company with great projects that include a gold project in New South Wales, Australia. We're going to talk about that. Another gold project in Saskatchewan, Canada. Two uranium projects in Canada's world famous Athabasca Basin, and a lithium brine project in New Mexico. But today we're focusing on this headline: Lancaster secures premier gold project in one of Australia's most productive mining belts. Andrew, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, George, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, congratulations on your recent appointment as CEO. We're going to talk about that a little bit later when we talk about the team over at Lancaster. But let's start off this interview at a high level. Are these record gold prices here to stay?
We think so. We sort of did a bit of a commodity review in 2024 around what commodities might benefit from some incoming economic turmoil that we've seen lately. We picked gold. We acquired our Piney Lake asset early last year, and then we're on the hunt for larger, called them company-making properties globally. In late 2024, identified Lake Cargelligo, as you mentioned, and executed a definitive agreement here recently that we're really excited about. We think gold pricing at these levels are here to stay, and that Lake Cargelligo is really a company maker, and we're excited to get our exploration started shortly.
Well, let's talk about Lake Cargelligo. I love that name too. It almost sounds Italian. Um, First of all, you said in a quote, Lake Cargelligo sits in a proven gold producing region, but remains unexplored. So there's two things to unpack there. First, let's talk about the region and its importance in your decision to acquire this project.
Yeah, so we're looking again sort of globally. We looked at Australia, Peru, North America, really identified sort of that Cobar Mining District in New South Wales as an area with proven gold mines, proven production resources, but a little bit behind in the newer deployment of some high-tech geophysical exploration techniques. And so there are proven mines anywhere from 50 to 150 kilometers away. Tomingli Gold Mine comes to mind. It's got about 1.7-ish million ounces of gold. And so we identified this property through our partners in Australia as a underexplored claim in a proven gold producing area. And so we think that with the in-country team that we're bringing in and the newer modern exploration techniques, that we are on the poise of a company making gold discovery in Lake Cargelligo. So we're really excited by the opportunity there. Again, sort of that proven history of production within an area, lightly or underexplored geologically and geophysically. So it had all the hallmarks of what we were looking for. It's also quite large. It's about 287 square kilometers. So we're really excited by Lake Cargelligo.
So let's talk about some of the specifics. That's the district, and that's important, right? Where do you find gold? Where gold's already been discovered. But Lake Cargelligo, you said it remains unexplored, but obviously you guys saw some specifics there about Lake Cargelligo that made you go out and acquire this, including you talked about Bonanza grade samples. So a lot of people at home don't know what that means. Talk to us about some of the specifics that have gotten you guys excited, even for you to say it's a potential company maker, which is pretty early to say that. So you must have good reason.
Yeah, exactly. And so again, it has been explored a little bit in the past, in the early 80s and then in call it the early 2010s. So there is a little bit of exploration work that's been done on the property, but some of the really positive things that we liked about it, again, one, it's in a large contiguous block. It's about 287 square kilometers. We sort of see three distinct areas for potential discoveries in the property itself along a total of about 25 kilometers of strike length. That strike is below some shallow cover, and there's been no past geophysics work done on the claim specifically. So the geology of the property itself is a hybrid or a combination of what we would call like an orogenic intrusive related gold system. That would be similar to the Fort Knox deposit in Alaska, which is Alaska's largest producing mine. It's produced nearly 10 million ounces of gold. So that is, the potential for some of that company maker scale of discovery on the claims. In addition to that, there's a more discrete orogenic lode mineralization system that we see, and that's where we
By the way,
get
what does
in.
that mean? Because a lot of people at home aren't going to understand what that means.
Yeah, so the lode deposit is really sort of similar to what you would see when you get those bonanza grades. You'd see the big nuggets. It's in a vein near surface, and so that's typically what when you think of gold rushes, that's the lode type of deposit.
Now, question for you. You did mention it had been explored in the 80s, explored again in 2010, I think you said. What is it? I mean, what is that they didn't find that you've now got? Or is it a case of with gold being at $3,400 US an ounce right now, record prices? Was it just a case of they were finding compelling things? It just wasn't economic enough at the time because obviously gold was way lower back then. Is it the gold of price? Is it the price of gold that's made Cargelligo really attractive now, or is there something else on top of what was the work that was previously done?
Yeah, I think it's all of the above, George. One, obviously, the price of gold makes it much more attractive. I think some of the work done originally didn't really show the potential scale of the deposit in terms of how large this and aerially extensive this could be, because again, no geophysical work has been done on the property. And so when we look back, we sort of see that historical geochemistry that shows those bonanza grades in some soil and rock chips, again, up to that sort of 200 grams per ton. And so what we're hoping to do is deploy these new exploration techniques to show the scale. The past drilling also did not go deep enough. It was very shallow. And so we're going to be looking to drill a bit deeper, test those deeper zones where we would expect to see higher gold concentrations in a much larger aerially extensive package. And so that's really the upside that we're chasing. Again, similar to that Fort Knox type of deposit up in Alaska, where you can potentially produce, upwards of 10 million ounces in a deposit.
Now let's talk about the new exploration techniques because I guess that's a second factor that's changed. One is the price of gold is way higher. Talk to us about the new exploration techniques because we hear about companies employing AI and other new technologies, sound waves. What is that you guys specifically are going to be deploying that gives you confidence you're going to be able to to find something promising at Cargelligo?
That's a great question, George. I think the deployments or the use case of artificial intelligence, there are a whole suite of new geophysical techniques, aerial deployed, ground-based, that we're going to use in our exploration program here coming up in 2025 Q3 to help us identify larger areas of mineralization and potentially newer areas of mineralization. So if we can take this new geophysical work, put it together with some geochemistry work that we're going to be doing as part of the same program, that's going to show us the scale and the size of the potential deposits that we have at Lake Cargelligo. And again, we believe this is going to be a company maker, hopefully analogous to the Fort Knox in Alaska or the Granite Project in Australia.
I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I like to play devil's advocate too, so people don't think we're just softballing these things. But um, you have said there has been past geophysics work done, right? So it's underexplored. Is it too early to say that this could be a company maker?
So we do have past geochemical work and past drilling results on the claims that again show gold up to 200-ish grams per ton. We've seen channel sampling in the 5 to 6 grams per ton. So we know that there is absolutely gold there in significant concentrations. And so what we want to do is to take
Nice.
these new exploration techniques, confirm that those are real and that those numbers are accurate, come up with an identified drill program for late 2025 or early 2026 and drill. And those will be the results that we're hoping to show us that this is a company maker type deposit in New South Wales.
And the good thing is the drilling gets expensive, but you don't have to, you're not looking to do that yet. What do the budgets kind of look like for this for deploying these new exploration techniques that you're just talking about? And when I think you've alluded to here in Q3, you're going to start that. Just give us an ETA on that as well.
That's correct. So we're in the middle of a financing right now. We will be using a large majority of those funds for exploration work at Lake Cargelligo, and so the balance of that budget will then be used for some of our other properties here in Canada. Um, but that exploration program at Lake Cargelligo is going to allow us to identify 3 to 5 drill holes that we're going to use as a very highly targeted program to make sure that we're spending our capital wise and we're providing the biggest value to our shareholders, so that we can expect or hope for, with a little bit of luck, ideal results in the drill holes that we do at Lake Cargelligo.
And more than just lip service, you guys know what you're talking about over there because of the team and recent appointments made at Lancaster. So there's you, and there's also strong technical firepower with Ross Brown and Rob Heslop. Uh, Tell us first, so you can be magnanimous. Tell us first about Ross Brown and Rob Heslop. What do they bring to the table, and is that great third party validation that they're seeing enough that they want to be part of this team?
Yeah, so again, we, as part of our identification of assets that we would want for acquisition, we really made it a priority to target teams as well, individuals that are in country that have that expertise locally that would allow us to execute capitally efficient. They know the geology and the geochemistry and the geophysics of the area. And both Ross and Rob checked all the boxes. And so we're really excited to bring Ross on board as our VP exploration. He's got about 40 years of experience in Australia and globally, with significant deposits and finds behind his name. And Rob brings our in-country manager and actual field exploration background that we really need as part of our exploration program, as I previously mentioned. And so having those two people join us as part of this acquisition was paramount, and we're really excited to have their expertise, and look forward to working with them both here in Q3.
And I'll tell you why that is also very promising for people watching or listening at home. You know, anybody who's been in this business for 40 years, they've been around a long time. They're obviously highly respected. They probably got plenty of opportunity given the fact that you've got not just gold, but other prices, copper, everything. So they've got more than enough work to go around if they wanted. The fact that they're decide to come on to Lancaster and help you in this, I think speaks a lot. At least it speaks a lot to the promise of what you've been talking about for the last 15, 20 minutes. I think that's important. Let's also talk about you. What is by your qualifications where Penny and the team there said, hey, we gotta appoint Andrew Watson as our CEO.
Yeah, so I've been in, let's call it, exploration, energy production, field operations for basically my entire career. And so that covers precious metals, critical minerals, conventional energy. I think the background and experience that I can bring in terms of an overall strategic, both technical and corporate vision, was really sort of what helped Penny and the board appoint me as president and CEO. I think the ability to execute on a handful of acquisitions that we've done, including Lake Cargelligo, our uranium assets in Saskatchewan, was leading the lithium brine development in New Mexico prior to sort of lithium taking a bit of a pause in its price. Really sort of gave them the confidence that I can execute, be capitally efficient, work with shareholders, work with stakeholders, and drive Lancaster forward to a discovery at Lake Cargelligo or one of our other properties.
I want to touch a little bit, just because in my intro I talked about it, you talked about it there. You've also got some nice uranium, some nice lithium. But is it fair to say that gold is going to be the focus of Lancaster resources going forward?
Yeah, gold is certainly our focus right now. It's one of the strongest commodities out there. We have a very bullish viewpoint on gold for the next, call it, short to medium term. It will be a focus. We've had Piney Lake in our portfolio for quite a while, and we just added Lake Cargelligo. But we're not going to forget our other assets. We firmly believe that lithium has a place in the energy transition going forward. We have our two assets, again, the lithium brine Alkali Flat project in New Mexico and our Trans-Tiger project in Quebec, James Bay area. And obviously uranium has a strong bullish viewpoint for the long term. You know, nuclear power is going to continue to grow. Uranium will be the feedstock. And there's really no better place in the world for it than Athabasca Basin. And we have our two projects there, Catley Lake and Centennial, that we're excited about and hopefully can, look towards making a discovery and doing some exploration work there in the next while.
And I like a couple of comments you made there. So lithium, I want to expand on lithium. Yeah, has had a little bit of price suppression. So that maybe that's a case of oversupply came on so fast because of the growth in electric vehicles and renewable energy demands, all that. So that is it fair to say that that might be number 3 in the priority order, but uranium takes number 2 because I'm watching Elon Musk, I'm listening to Bill Gates all talk about, and Jensen over at NVIDIA talking about AI is growing so fast and is going to require so much power that Elon Musk said we're going to run out of power by the end of 2026, given how fast AI is growing. And uranium is going to have to play a big role there, right? Because it's going to have to power little mini nuclear reactors in order to power these AI. Is it fair to say that uranium would be your second priority? So gold, uranium, lithium right now?
I think that would probably be fair, George. Uranium has a bit of a different commodity pricing. It's much more of a utility-based commodity, so it's a little bit more stable relative to some of the other ones, like the collapse in lithium, as you mentioned. We firmly believe in the energy transition as well at Lancaster, and so the lithium projects we have are still a priority, but we're just taking a pause on them. We're certainly not forgetting about them. We think, medium term, once we get past sort of the macroeconomic inflation, oversupply issues around lithium, get back to the EV transition, et cetera, that lithium price will significantly grow. But in the interim, we're really believing long-term gold is the asset to own.
Yeah, and what I like is that the way you guys are positioned here is gold is now, that's your focus, and you've got a couple of great projects. And then medium term, uranium is going to be important to power the growth of AI because that's unstoppable. And then long term, you've got that lithium just sitting there, even though it's not favorable right now. You've got nice projects sitting there because eventually we know that EVs and renewable energy are really going to accelerate, and you've got those there for the longer term. So is it? I don't know if that was by design, but it seems like Lancaster's got really nice timing relative to its projects.
I think you're 100% right, and appreciate that, George. It is part of the plan. We need a portfolio of assets that we strongly believe in, that we believe are in a bullish market with significant growth potential. We think that lithium, uranium, and gold all check those boxes, and we're just excited to get going and start our exploration programs.
Well, Andrew, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on your appointment. Congratulations on bringing on Ross Braun and Rob Heaslop as well. And congratulations on the acquisitions of Cargelligo. Can't wait to see how that turns out, and can't wait to have you back once you've started doing the initial, new work on there with the new technologies, so that we can hear the confirmation, hopefully, that it is playing out as expected.
Thanks again for having me, George. Again, we're really excited by the upside here at Lancaster and look forward to sharing those results with our shareholders and everybody else.
Thanks, Andrew, and thanks to everyone for watching. Hopefully you discover your next great small cap resource company. Have a great day. See you next time.
Hey, small cap fam. I hope you loved this interview because more than a dozen people were involved in its production for the sole purpose of making you happy. If so, can you take a moment to support both our awesome guest company and Agoracom? Your engagement means the world to us. First, if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up by tapping that like button. It's a small gesture that helps this interview reach even more potential investors to discover today's guest. Second, we would love to hear your feedback on this interview, so please leave a comment below. Be sure to keep it clean, but feel free to poke fun at George. If you loved what you heard on today's video and want to dig into our guest company right away, take a look at the links in the description below. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to never miss another great Agoracom small cap video. Thank you so much. We couldn't do any of this without you. Make sure to come back soon.